What's going on, people? I'm Trey Rorschach and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be looking at the patch notes in the recent update and glossing over them and letting you know what I think is happening with the game and if I think it's a good or a bad decision. So first thing, very simple thing, cross-platform friend system has been introduced. So your Xbox friends, your PC friends, you'll be able to join lobbies with them now, set up chats and stuff like that. So that's great. Also, the XP balance has been adjusted, so there's an increase of XP for all players, new players, existing players, so on and so forth. Big thing to come is the Omni Hexes. Now, as you can see on the screen here, there's a lot of data about what the commons, the uncommons, the rares, and the epics do. The Omni Hexes themselves, basically, if you pick up a common, there'd be a 30% chance you could have an uncommon or better. So potentially you could pick up a common, extract it, and get an epic. So that is going to be a hell of a bonus going for hexes. Now, the way the skill-based matchmaking is in this game, it doesn't really exist from what I can tell. So the lobbies are dominated by these high-skill players at the moment. So I did see on the companion app earlier today that they are bringing a ranked mode, which will see a lot of these high-skill players going into lobbies and going into ranked mode because they'll be able to earn extra hexes by fighting higher ranked players. So hopefully that comes into play in the next couple of weeks. So now I've gone through that, let's go down to the player leveling up rewards and extracting hex rewards. So you're going to get rewards every level, every 5th level, 25th level, and every 100th level. So even if you can't extract hexes at the moment because the skill level is too high in these lobbies, you are still going to be able to earn hexes. So that's a really good thing they've brought to the game, especially for new players. Matchmaking, I'm not too sure on the matchmaking there. So you can select matchmaking region at a time, and matchmaking times are now more accurately displayed. So I don't really know too much about that, so I'm going to gloss over that one. The melee now has a little dash system as well. There's a few stats here about aim assist. Rotational aim assist smoothing independent of frame rate, so basically you're going to have a smoother transition when you're following players. Absolute aim assist, I don't really know what that is. I believe that's the aim down sight aim assist, because that has changed. So instead of having a vertical and a horizontal set interchange, they've just put a percentage modifier on your non-aim down sight aim. So basically it'll run off that. So if you set your aim sensitivity to 3, for example, and you set your aiming sensitivity to 0.5, that would mean your aiming sensitivity would be halved when you're aim down sight. Hope that makes sense. The next thing here, no, that's what I was talking about beforehand. So I'm not quite sure what absolute aim assist is, but you can see under aiming here that the sensitivity has changed. So big thing on aim assist here, I think, is aim assist is now decreases or disables on ghosted targets based on their speed. So if a player is ghosted and they're running, they're going to be harder to hit because you're going to have no aim assist helping you lock onto that player. Bit of a buff for ghost there. I've got an infinite ghost tutorial class. I'll leave a link in the video to that because I think that's going to be a good class to use now the Paralyzer has been nerfed, which I'll come to later in this video. As for movement, the animations have been changed a bit. Vault and climbing speeds have been increased. there's a smoother camera experience and so on and so forth. The information is on the screen. There's very, very basic tweaks to the movement there, if you ask me. There's a lot here where they've fixed in the map. So loot containers to regular treasure variants, 20% currency burn on death. That's probably going to be a big one, because before that, I don't even think you burned too much cash on death. I think you maybe dropped a little bit. I'm not sure. Yeah, there's a lot of little bug fixes here, so feel free to pause the video and have a little read through them. But I want to get on to the next bit, which is going to be pretty important, and then I'm going to quickly spin into the training lobby just to show you the difference on some of these things. Okay, so the Ripper's had a major nerf. 50 HP less on the damage front. Your localized severing points. Now, I think this has all to do with where the Ripper hits you and how much damage you've already taken to that limb, because you're going to have to do 100% limb damage, which I think that's quite a lot of damage to do just to an arm to lose it. So you're only going to really lose an arm when you've got a slither, less than 50% health left after an armor break and everything, I believe. So the information on the Ripper is there. If you strike below the knee, you can sever the legs, but it is really a lot more difficult now to sever any limbs with the Ripper. So they've also, I think on the last update, they updated the fact that so many times I got hit by the Ripper, lost an arm, and I couldn't even fire my weapon until I changed weapon. Now there's sort of an automatic weapon switch there, so I've been killing people with the Ripper for the past couple of days, and it's a lot easier. I'm so happy with what they've done with it. I do think they might have overdone it a little bit, but we'll see in time. The Roadrunners themselves, overall reduced speed by 30%. So your total speed with the Roadrunners is 170 now. I personally think the Roadrunners are in a good space, considering you can still knee slide, jump, and create that distance. So if someone's following you and you knee slide and you jump, you then create a gap between your Roadrunners that they can't use. And the bigger the gap between the Roadrunners, the less chance they have of following you. That also works if you're running towards an opponent and you slide past them, jump, turn, break that camera angle. Like, all that is still in effect with the Roadrunners. So I do believe they're a lot more balanced now. I think they're a lot more level with the Leapers. I do find myself picking the Leapers now and again, but I've spent months using the Roadrunners and the grappling hook. So yeah, maybe the Leapers are a lot more viable option now because the Roadrunners ain't as strong. So the big thing I want to go over here is the Paralyzer. Finally, it's had a nerf. It was crazy. I did do a video the other day on how the Paralyzer can be run infinitely with the limited accelerator backpack, same as Ghost. That still is in effect. You could still run the double Paralyzers infinitely, but as I'll show you when I go into the training area, it's not quite as powerful as it used to be. So basically, the scan now comes from the dart, not from you. So it doesn't come from your player signal. So you have to shoot the dart to activate the sonar. So that's going to be a big nerf. Not only that, the Paralyzer itself has had a nerf to its radar, and I'll show you that later on, and a few other things. So the scan radius has been changed to 25 meters from 30, I believe, as well. So there's numerous nerfs to it there, and I'll try go over it in the training area in a second. There's been a very minor nerf to the recon drone, so enemies are now visible for 4 seconds, followed by 2 seconds of invisibility, so it kind of works a little more like the Paralyzer used to. And I'll show you the difference between that and how the new Paralyzer sonar works. Because I do think the sonar is a lot weaker than it used to be, whereas they could have probably paralyzed. They probably could have nerfed the dart itself, because 2 seconds stun is crazy. Still, so it's still a good weapon. There are a few miscellaneous sort of fixes here, like the slide through the slugger. So if an enemy person slides through the slugger, they won't be able to cancel into their abilities and stuff. So you can actually get more chance to kill them while their movement is hindered. The hammerheads have been fixed a little bit, tweaked a little bit. So has the Phosphorus Fury fire radius, so it'll match visuals and things like that. The Ripper has been fixed because one of its distances was being too short as well. So as for weapons, improved weapons staying equipped on limb loss. That's what I was talking about earlier with the Ripper. There's a few others here, they're basic little minor fixes, to scopes, and if you want to pause the video right here and have a little look at some of those, you'll get a better understanding of what's going on there. A lot of sound fixes there again, just pause the video and have a little read through them. That's pretty much what I want to go through. If you do want to read through any of this, you can just click on the top right hand of your screen and it does give you this entire list to read through. So you can do that. But I think I've gone over everything I wanted to go over in this list here. So I'm going to back out of this. Just going to go to loadouts quickly and change one thing because I know I'm not using it right now. And that is I want the Ripper on so I can show you the nerf to the Ripper. So let's go into the combat zone. So here we are. The first thing I'm going to go over is the recon drone. So you hit the recon drone, and as you can see, glows up red, and then they disappear for a little bit, and then they glow up red again. I think that's a great nerf. It kind of nerfs it without nerfing it into the ground. And that's all I've really got to say on that class and that positioning. So I'll go down to the Ripper next, because this has taken the biggest nerf. So as before, if you've got someone in this position and you hit them with the Ripper, it'd break their armor and take their arm. As you can see here, it only really takes 2 armor plates now. So what I would suggest doing with this class is using it as a finisher. So you can do something like that and finish your opponent. It saves them getting out of your line of gunfire or using their roadrunners, or you could use it as, your initial attack if you were in the air, like so. You could come down, start the attack that way. It is pretty good that way. But as you can see, it's really difficult to cut off a limb. Let's see if I can get, let's see if I can cut the legs off here. So, no. It's difficult. It's really difficult to cut off a limb now. I think it's going to be good because you'll see a lot more limb use in the future. But as for now, I won't be using it. And I think a lot of the people who have been using it are going to drop it for probably the Slam Fist, because that does give you some great movement options as well, which I'm going to show you in a later video, probably next week. Let's get, where is it? So I told you about the little buff to ghost there. So, players, if you're using Ghost, players are not going to have an aim assist to follow you, or a reduced aim assist depending on your speed. I'm not quite sure what they mean by speed, so if you're dead still, I'm guessing there'll be no aim assist whatsoever. And if you're moving fast, there's going to be a very slight aim assist. That's what I'm guessing on that fact. There it is. So the paralyzer. This is going to be the big talking point of this video. And as you can see, I've got my infinite paralyzer class set up there. And it works pretty much the same, except for instead of when I press R1, I don't start the sonar, I fire the dart, and the dart starts the sonar. So if I stun this guy, as you can see, I hack him, and then the sonar bursts out from that player destination. Now, the sonar leaves a red blip of where they were at the time of the blip. This can be very jarring during game to get used to. I've ended up shooting at these and missing my actual target. So I think they've got to do something about that little hologram. But as you can see, the paralyzer, you can still run it infinitely. The only thing is, if you want to have this radar up 24/7, you've got to waste your paralyzer dart itself, your stun. So that's going to make it a little less usable, because it might be better running one and running a different limb alongside it, because as you can see, you don't want all those red figures up all the time, because you'd be chasing the red figure. If I set it up, so I'd be chasing this figure and he's there, so I'm chasing the figure, I aim at the figure and I get shot from the left. So I don't really like it. I mean, it's handy to know where the player was, so you're like, oh, there was a guy above me, there's a guy below me. You can adjust your gameplay for that, but I wouldn't rely on tracking these little red markers. I really wouldn't. But as I said, still very viable as a stun. Really viable as a stun. So you could run one and maybe run something else alongside it. Maybe run Ghost alongside it. Maybe pair the two up so you could run back and forth with it. I could see that working. But that has been all from this video. I hope it's helped you out a little bit. If it has, please like, subscribe, comment on the video to let me know if I've missed anything or if I could make my videos better in any way. And I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.